Well, yesterday was a really cool day of training camp. We actually saw them run a scrimmage, blue team versus white team. So Mac Jones basically got to run his own offense against a different defense, which is really, really cool to see. We're going to watch some clips from that. He threw 3 touchdowns that I know of, and we're going to have 2 clips to show you guys today of 2 of those touchdowns. Alright, now before I get into it, be sure to smash the like button and leave a comment down below if you want Mac Jones to have literally like a 30-year career throwing for 5,000 yards and 50 plus touchdowns every single season. You guys know it already. If you leave a comment down below and like the video, he will for sure do that. But if you don't, he for sure will not. So be sure to do it if you want the Patriots to be good in the future. Also subscribe for the best Patriots content on YouTube. Let's get straight into things. First things first, we have a really cool crossing route here. I love the camera angles we get to see. This one was to Kendrick Bourne. And as you can see, it's just a really accurate pass there. Leads the receiver. Obviously, they're not playing at full speed here. You can definitely tell from the blocking and the pass rush there that it is probably about 25% or 50% at best, not going to lie. Although we do get to see these teams get a little bit competitive at some points during some of these clips, which is really cool to see because it's obviously a little bit more challenging in these situations. But yes, this was a great pass. He led the receiver perfectly. Obviously, it could have been a little bit lower than that. He made the receiver jump for it a little bit. Here's another angle on this one. This one's a little bit more of like a defensive angle here. But as you can see, the defense is definitely playing like 50% at best, like I said. But really good throw and really good catch there by Kendrick Bourne. Here's our next clip, guys, and this one is a touchdown to Jonnu Smith. He actually had 3 touchdown passes to Jonnu Smith in their first quarter of this scrimmage. I say that with kind of like quote-unquote fingers there because it really is hardly a scrimmage. It's mostly like a practice, 11-on-11 practice where they simulate a game. I know that's technically what a scrimmage is, but I feel like in a scrimmage they're definitely playing 100%. And look at this pass right over Kyle Duggar. Obviously, he's not really jumping for it, but he threw this one 100% where it had to be because if it's any lower, it's interceptable. And really, I think this is just a great high pass there in the end zone. Very accurate, very nice touch pass. Elite pass here, in my opinion, especially with the defender right on it. Here's another angle of this one, and it looks even crazier from this angle, actually. It just floats right in there, right where it has to be. What an accurate pass. I'm sure there was some inaccurate passes that we're just not really going to see in this video, but still really awesome to see there being some good passes because I'm telling you guys, y'all are pretty spoiled. There is some quarterbacks that come into the league, and there's just a bunch of inaccurate passes all over the place. Speaking of a quarterback who's actually been passing really accurately that I'm excited about, it's not the Patriots, but I do want to talk about a different team. It's okay to recognize, good play, obviously, but Justin Fields has been lighting it up over for the Bears, so it's going to be interesting to track that situation over there in Chicago as well, because it seems like they have a really nice quarterback on their hands. He has been throwing bombs, accurate bombs, throughout training camp for them, so really exciting for their team, obviously. And finally, here is our last clip here, and this is another one of those touchdowns to Jonnu Smith. Again, there was 3 of these in the first quarter, and I desperately tried to find an article telling me exactly how many touchdowns Mac Jones had or if he had any interceptions during these scrimmages, but I could not find anything with the total numbers. So in the comments down below, if you know kind of what the final numbers were on this scrimmage for both Cam Newton and Mac Jones would be even better, please let us know in the comments down below because I would be happy to see that. Now, starting tomorrow, because today is obviously Saturday, this training camp was from yesterday. We're kind of not having any training camp today, but tomorrow, so Sunday, and even Monday and beyond, we're going to have training camp this upcoming week. But guys, Thursday is our first preseason game at 7:30 versus the Washington football team. I cannot wait for that game, guys. There's going to be highlight videos the day after, discussions on all sorts of different players. That is going to be all we're going to be talking about afterwards. So I cannot wait for that. I might even make a video going into it, kind of discussing players I want to be watching and things I want to watch for that are going to be interesting. So be on the lookout for that as well. But I cannot wait for the opportunity to potentially see Mac Jones play against a different team. He's also going to have his official number by then, obviously, as well. Likely going to be number 10 in my opinion. But we saw some interesting numbers that people threw out there. Maybe number 7, number 14. I got a few comments like that. But it's going to be exciting to see him in his official jersey, obviously. We're facing the Washington football team, guys, and look, they're a tough team. I love the culture they're building over there, actually. The defense is out of control. I know we're only going to be playing against the second and third stringers. I don't really know what their depth looks like, but if it's anything like their starters, it might be a pretty tough preseason game. Not that it really matters, but you would love to see our players obviously playing some tough competition, but you don't want them to get beat down and demoralized. Obviously, our rookie quarterback as well, Mac Jones. So it would be good to see him succeed and not face too tough of a defense in his first preseason game. I'm just talking ideally. Obviously, competition is great, but we don't want him to struggle unnecessarily. It might even be a situation where we see a lot of Brian Hoyer and not really a lot of Mac Jones. I obviously do not expect Cam Newton to play at all in game one, especially with health, concerns and injury concerns the past few seasons for him, probably since 2016, I want to say. So I really would not be surprised if we don't see Cam Newton at all. Wouldn't be surprised if we see hardly any Mac Jones, maybe even just one driver, not at all. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Mac Jones at all. Unfortunately, week one, as much as I'd love to see him, it might be a lot of Brian Hoyer and that other quarterback we signed, which I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, but we do have two quarterbacks outside of Mac Jones and Cam Newton on the roster, and technically Stidham is, but he's obviously dealing with his surgery. And another injury-related thing I wanted to bring up to you guys, Raekwon McMillan, guys, tore his ACL, unfortunately. He was expected to at least be a really good depth linebacker, potentially get some starting time. Obviously, he's not one of our number one starting linebackers, so this isn't going to dramatically affect the team's starting lineup, but it is unfortunate to see a good player that could have played some really good situational moments. It just is a shame to see him injured, and obviously we wish him the best, and hopefully he recovers nicely and we get him back for next season. The good news for him is it's so early. You'd almost rather it happen, obviously in training camp rather than the middle of a season, because the likelihood of this injury trickling into next season goes down. Obviously, if he was to get injured in week 8, there's a great chance that the beginning of next season would be impacted. But again, the good news for him, and it's hard to find good news in a situation like this, but there is some, upside to everything. I think that it's a good thing that it happened this early for him, because there is a good chance he'll be able to come back for the beginning of next season, which is really awesome. He's young, so he can likely recover and turn his career around, obviously, after this. But obviously, all of us, like I said, it's just a very difficult situation for him, just a major injury, and we all feel really bad about it. So anyway, guys, I'm excited for the preseason game. There's going to be many more training camp videos coming up. Unfortunately, this is another day where we hardly had any clips. I feel like the hype for Mac Jones was the highest around minicamp and then the first couple of days of training camp, and obviously it dies down slowly. And once preseason's here, everybody's going to be seeing it on TV, so it's going to be a whole different thing. But for now, I think the hype is a little bit died down, and we're only getting 5 clips, maybe 7 per training camp day, whereas it was 15 or 20 in the very beginning. So there's a little bit less media attention on him right now. So it's making it harder to make these videos with as much content. Here's one tweet, though. Zach Cox said, "Hope you have Jonnu Smith on your fantasy team tonight. He's up to 3 first-half touchdowns from Mac Jones." So that's how I know Mac Jones at least threw 3 touchdowns in the game, and that Jonnu Smith caught 3 touchdowns in the game. So it's really cool to see Jonnu Smith doing good as well. Now, one more player I want to shed some light on real quick before I close out this video, and this video really just seems pretty random. I'm talking about a lot of random stuff, but Nick Folk was not at practice the past few days, but we do have an undrafted kicker, Quinn Nordin, and he has been lighting it up from what I've been hearing, and he pretty much is our only undrafted free agent that we've signed that has a really good chance to make the roster. And after this practice that I'm hearing about, he went 10 of 10 on field goals, which is obviously phenomenal. It sounds like there's a great chance that Quinn Nordin could beat out Nick Folk for that starting job. And if you don't know, the Patriots have an astronomically long streak of signing undrafted free agents every single year and then making the roster. So this basically is our chance to continue that streak. And if we don't sign him, unfortunately, that likely means that streak will die. And it's a very long streak. I forget off the top of my head how long it is, but it might be 15 years or something like that. It's very, very long, or 10 years. Longest in the league for sure, and it would be nice to continue that, mostly just for fun and because it's a really cool thing, but also because having a young kicker that's showing a lot of promise in Quinn Nordin would be really cool as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this way too long video. I talked about a lot of random stuff. We're going to be talking a lot about that preseason game next week. We're also going to be talking about the training camp days as they happen. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. Again, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going to be talking about all things Patriots. That's literally what the channel is called. Throughout the preseason, throughout the rest of the training camp, and throughout the regular season, and hopefully postseason as well, and then beyond for years to come. I'm so excited to kind of experience that with you guys, and it's so cool. We're about to hit 10,000 subscribers in a few days, which is super awesome as well. I thank you all for that, and it's because you guys continue to like and comment down below, so be sure to do that. Like the video and leave a comment down below, because those things help this video reach out to new people that might be interested in the video, and that's how it's growing so much. So it is a lot of you guys doing the work, which is so awesome that we can all be a part of this. So thank you so much for all you guys do. I'll see you guys in the next video.